Welcome to the Bearded Bros Show podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dustin, and I am joined by
Trev. And you know what? We're getting faster and faster at starting to do this, because there's always this brief thing between me and Dustin where we talk for a second, and then most of the time we're like, well, let's just keep most of everything we're going to say inside of the podcast. And just now, I think it was a limit of 20 seconds on the phone, and then we started. I don't know. It was very, very fast. What's up, guys? How you doing? Check out our merch in the description below. I'm going to do that right away just so you're aware, because some people probably won't make it to the end because we're boring AF. Just kidding. We have merch, shirts, everything. I'm working on getting my shirt and mug in. I'm going to unbox for you, and I think Dustin has agreed to do the same thing. I guess we're going to kind of combine that as the same video or something, or whatever he was saying the other day about it. I kind of forgot already, but merch. So check it out. Support us. Be greatly appreciated. Thanks again to Jake for that amazing logo. But anyway, what else is going on?
Yeah. So we also have an email, happybroshow@gmail.com. Happybro
we have Twitter.
@gmail.com. bbroShow@gmail.com.
Twitter, all that jazz. Tweet us.
Yes.
Comment at us. Yell at us. Just don't come to my house yelling at me. Just do it from the internet like everybody else does.
Yeah.
So, quick question for Dustin. Do you ever, start streaming and regret not getting your voice a little bit ready? Has that ever happened where you're like, wait, and you kind of I don't know. Because, I was messing with Dustin for, in between those 20 seconds of this call. I was like, gotta get my voice ready, boy, or whatever. Just, kind of clearing my throat a whole lot and everything. Because, talking for an hour is kind of you don't really expect what it really does, really. It's kind of weird. I remember when I had the Trav Talks podcast on my channel, I remember talking and doing a bunch of episodes within the same week, and realizing, man, my voice is it was going away. But I don't know. I just wondered if you ever kind of had that moment where you're like, oh, it's kind of when before you go into singing, you got to definitely get ready for that. But talking is just different. But yeah.
Okay, so to answer your question, I've never had it when streaming. Usually by the time I stream, I'm pretty good. But recording videos, yes. It's really funny. If you actually go back on my channel and find my Sea of Thieves, montage thing that I did, I only had one, Sea of Thieves video. And it was just, a bunch of random shit that happened to me and my friends. And the first, couple clips was at, 9 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up. Literally got out of bed. Rolled out of bed into my chair and recorded a video. But yeah, recording a video, I'll start and be a couple minutes in, I'm talking and my throat just absolutely bends me over and fucks me with no lube, and I'm just and I almost die.
What an image.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm just being honest.
So
yeah, I've had that happen.
Kind of just to let you guys know something really weird that happened, that this episode doesn't necessarily have to be about this, but I want you guys to leave in the comments on the YouTube version of this podcast, do you ever have this? I don't know if they I've heard it being called, and the Mandela effect might be a completely different thing. I'm not even absolutely sure on that. And other people say oh, are you talking about the butterfly effect? I'm like, no, that's literally not it. Not an event happens and then that does the domino effect thing. I mean literally to put the story into perspective, Dustin, at the very beginning of the last episode, I guess, episode 15, if you listen back through that, you'll hear me say my sole of my shoe fell out whenever I was going into work, and then Dustin messed with me about wearing Converse, and I listened to the episode back, and he recommended the Nike Odyssey,
a very specific shoe,
the Nike Odyssey React shoes. And not even 2 or 3 days later, I'm not even sure, within the same week, YouTube suggested to me to buy them. Now, I had never searched after that. I didn't go right to Amazon after Dustin recommended it and be and I can understand that. I kind of understand how these websites sometimes are kind of intertwined. I can see how, everyone's had this. If you buy something off Amazon, next day something's being suggested to buy off Facebook. It happens to me all the time, but I don't really know how that works and why that happens. But I truly believe that makes more sense than this. That version of that is like, that's more believable, I guess. But this was literally like, I didn't even search the shoe or look into it at all. And YouTube has those little things like you go to your subscription feed and you scroll through and you're just looking at like people's thumbnails and videos. And then in between those, sometimes will be like these random, buy this off of Nike.com or whatever. And it was like literally shop now. The first shoe was Nike Odyssey React shoe, the exact thing that Dustin was recommended to me without me having to search it at all. I swear, like, that is the creepiest thing, and it happens all the time to me. Like, I'll mention something, and I see it on a billboard 5 miles later. Like, I don't know, dude. That kind of thing happens to me all the time. Or, like...
And it's not even like it's something that, like you said, you didn't search it, and it's not like we made a whole episode about it. It was literally like, Travis was like, hey, look, I need new shoes that are comfortable. I said... these shoes right here. Like, that was it. The conversation did not exceed, I don't even think, a minute long.
So it was literally like...
And it was like in the middle of the fucking podcast, too. It's like it wasn't at the beginning. It wasn't at the end. Like, it was like in the middle of the podcast. This whole thing transpired. That's odd. It's weird. But it happens.
It's, and so, me and Lucas have talked about it, too. Like, the internet listening to you, do I truly believe it? Like, sometimes I do, just because, like, I used to not... And then, I don't know, it's just this weird, like, I can understand, like, I've seen the movies, the government having satellites and, spying on you, like, I don't know, like, I know that can happen, but I don't really necessarily think that they're, like, oh, let's listen to this guy talk about a podcast, or, I mean, not talk about, say this in a podcast, and, like, I don't know, like, it's just really, really odd, and I want to know from you guys what's a good example of something like that happened to you. I know it happens to a lot of people. My sister-in-law and her boyfriend talk about that all the time whenever before the coronavirus thing, like, they would come over and be like, hey, we had another one of those things happen, and then they would mention something that, like, they watched something or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, the weirdest ones is when I'll see something on Facebook after I have just discovered a show or a movie that I've never heard of before in my life, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing stuff about it. Like, even like, oh, this actor dies or something like that, like, right after I'm starting to watch the show, and, like, just stuff like that happens all the time, and it's so freaking weird.
You want to know what my weirdest instance with that stuff is? Now, I'll never forget this. So, The Punisher is a very good show on Netflix. We've talked about it on the podcast. When I found out about that show through a coworker, right? He was like, we were on lunch one day, we're sitting next to each other in the break room. He has earbuds in, I have earbuds in. He's watching The Punisher, like, on his phone, on Netflix. And I, like, look over, and I see this show, so I, like, tap on the shoulder. I'm like, yo, bro, like, what are you watching? He's like, oh, dude, The Punisher, it's on Netflix. It's pretty dope. And mind you, I was at the end of my break. So I was like, all right, yeah, man, I'll check it out sometime. Literally, like, my phone was in my locker, like, not even near it. And I shit you not, I got off of work, went into my locker, checked my phone, had a notification from Netflix recommending The Punisher.
Yeah, that kind of thing happens to me, too. And I'm just like, dude, like... It's because, like the shoe thing, but for your situation, it's the same thing. Like, you didn't search Punisher. You were at the end of your break. You were trying to go back to work, and it's like something was listening to you to suggest that in your face. And that happens all the time. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, dude, it's creepy. But that was, like, definitely my weirdest instant with that. And I want to go back and touch on our merch. So Trav had bought stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get stuff eventually.
Neither of us have got them at this point of recording this. We're still in the process of them being shipped to us. Yeah, kind of
I think Trav and I are going to get them at around the same time. And the reason I suggested to Trav, let me just clarify on, like, the whole video thing. Trav got a t-shirt and a mug, and I'm assuming you got the black version of the t-shirt, correct?
Right.
Okay, so Tristan and I have so many black shirts. So I was like, she was like, oh, like, get me a t-shirt. So I got her the other color of the t-shirt that Trav ordered, which there's only 2 colors available. For whatever reason, like, the eco super soft tee you can only get in black and like this really pretty blue color.
It's a nice blue, yeah.
So I got that for her, and I got a red hoodie. So I figured if Trav and I kind of put our videos together into one, you guys can actually see a little more of what you're getting instead of just like a shirt and a mug, you know, or just like a hoodie and just a t-shirt. Like you're going to see the t-shirt in both colors and the premium hoodie, which I'm really excited for because I love comfortable hoodies. I just really hope they deliver on this. There's no doubt in my mind they will. So listen, Trav and I bought our own merch, so you should buy our merch. That's how dedicated we are to this podcast. And if that doesn't fucking prove it, then I don't know what will. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I've never bought my own merch until now because I firmly believe like this podcast like is crazy. And you know what? I've been mentioning it in like my friend streams on Twitch, and they're like, "Oh, like what's your podcast?" And I tell them, and like we have people now, like my outreach on Twitch, like people that I've never met are like starting to tune in to the podcast on Spotify and tune in on Apple Podcasts and everything. So seriously, thank you guys. We do appreciate it because Trav and I, you know, we're not people, we've talked about it before, we're not people that care too much about numbers. This is something that we enjoy doing, whether one person listened or we were the only two people that ever listened to the podcast. Because every time it comes out, I listen to the podcast myself.
Yeah,
just because
too.
it's just nice.
I try to, and having time for it, driving or whatever, you know, it's not always. My work is like right down the road for me, so I really like. I used to be able to listen to podcasts or whole albums of music, and like now I just feel like I can't really do it anymore just because I don't have enough driving time. And but I have sat and listened to the podcast at home, and it's just like, you know, it's just about taking the time. And we appreciate you guys for literally taking time out of your day, like rather you're just doing it to like, you know, going from place to place. You're like, I don't know, taking a shower or something. You're just like, you're doing something that's like, you got to be doing something. I don't blame you. Like we love to entertain you while you do things. Or if you're just literally sitting on your couch listening, I applaud you. I don't know. It's a really great feeling. And like I've said in past podcasts, like the evolution of how this started from like my channel to this and everything, it's just like, it's all like where it's supposed to go. And I love that feeling with it. And the logo was definitely like a push in that direction of like, holy crap, that logo looks so official that I feel like our podcast, it's a weird feeling, but it's like that feeling of like our podcast is more important than it seems. Like it's this really weird, like official feeling, like it's really professional and nice and just, it's gonna happen. And I try to not, but like, you know.
And you guys can hear my kids in the background right now. So again,
I try to,
it's
like,
out of my control.
You know, as long as I feel like there's no mistakes in whatever, I'll kind of have like a mental note of where, you know, we left too much space or whatever and like cut it out or whatever. So I edit them and put them up, and I try to do officially by Friday, like have them up just to have that like every, like, so that you guys can know like, hey, it's gonna drop on a specific day every single week. And I really want to be able to give you guys that. And I have slipped like a couple times, and it's just like things just get really busy and hectic. Me and him we're just really busy, but it's like, but we try to do the best that we can. And like me and him even have like a rule for like when we record and stuff, like, cause it's gotten really close to the release date sometimes. And then I'm just like, you know, cause at the end of the day, you know, we're not all about the numbers, but also don't want to let you guys down. Like I can't help but to have that guilt feeling, even though I know that you guys, care enough to be like, no, it's cool. Like just put it out when you can. But I want you guys to be able to like wake up on Friday, or at least by the end of your day on Friday, you're able to listen to the podcast because it's there. Right. And, you know, it's just that feeling. But, you know, we're also very normal guys that have other channels, main channels. They're in the description below, by the way. And, you know, we have lives, like, and we have wives and wives. And Dustin's
wives
got his
and
Twitch
lives.
channel, and Trista has her own Twitch channel. So he has to like make time for her to stream. But that's,
which is exactly why Trav and I are recording this at 9:00 on a Tuesday. Normally we record on Monday. And I just want to say too, things have been very different in Trista and I's house. We have guests that have kind of like been here the last 4 days and haven't really fucked off yet. I was interrupted by one of them because he's playing my PlayStation downstairs. Nice guy, and I really like him, but this whole thing is kind of really throwing a wrench in Trista and I's daily routines and lives. Like it's a lot harder now to create content. It's like you would think like, oh, like, you know, it's Trista's mom and stepdad. You would think like, oh, well, like, you know, they can occupy the kids and everything. It's literally harder now because it's like not only the kids, but they have questions and they don't quite understand the whole content creation side of things, which I get it, you know, older people, but it's just been really hard. Like I actually have a video that I have to edit about exposing grip companies. If any grip companies are listening to this, fuck you guys. Your sponsorships are stupid. It's a pyramid scheme. We can touch on that in a different podcast or right now if you want to. I don't care. But, you know, like trying to do that, and I need to upload a video for my channel. And the reason Trav and I are recording this, like as I was trying to say, Monday was Trista and I's anniversary. And today, since Trista live streams usually at night, she likes to start around 10 p.m. our time, which is like 9 p.m. for Travis. So like I was like, hey man, we tried to record this an hour earlier. That way I can get her all geared up and ready for her live stream, because Trista is actually about to hit affiliate, guys. She is only 10 followers away from affiliate. So hopefully by the time this podcast goes up, she's going to be affiliate on Twitch.
Yeah, follow Twitch.
Really excited.
I almost said Twista.
Follow Twista.
Follow Trista on Twitch, guys, and Dustin. They're killing it over there. I was actually like, because Dustin was explaining to me like how his stream looks and everything, and like obviously I had like a visual like imagination, like okay, like it's probably gonna look really freaking cool, but then I didn't even expect how actually really cool it looked once I got on there and was like, okay, these colors are really nice and they're totally you. And
you saw both. I got 2 stream overlays. I switched between them. You saw the one that was like purple, green, and yellow, and it was all animated.
Yeah.
And then you saw the one that was all 80s themed, like retro looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, like the Crash Bandicoot thing where like the chat was kind of in the same font style and stuff. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I have my chat in the 8-bit section, like in like the 8-bit style on my retro overlay. Yeah, but like my stream quality, and like how Trav was saying too, like the whole evolution of things and how like this logo for him was kind of like that driving force, and like having our own merch now is just crazy. Like it's like when something so little like that can honestly change the way that you drive your brand. Like when I was telling you guys in the podcast, like, hey, like my stream has completely changed. Like seeing that and seeing like I streamed a little bit today for about 45 minutes. And before I started my stream, I just kind of had this moment of like, holy shit, like this is real, you know, like this is my stream. Like I'm not watching somebody big or somebody super famous here on Twitch. Like this is me. Like I did this, and it was such like an endearing feeling of like, and it just makes you want to keep going. And I think Trista's kind of experiencing that now. She found out she can upload her Sims builds to the gallery on PC and people can download them. She almost has 50 total downloads across 4 builds. And like she has people tuning in from Brazil and Australia and just all over the world watching her build a house on Sims, and like it gets her excited. She's literally streamed every day for the last 3 days, and it's just like that feeling of like, holy shit. And when I placed my order for our merch, I looked at Tristan, I was like, I can't believe it. Like this all just seemed like, it just seems so surreal. You know, like I'm going to wear that hoodie out in public, or she's going to wear that shirt to work and people are going to be like, hey, what's that? You know, like it's going to draw attention. I got the red hoodie too. Like I want to stand out because I don't have any red hoodies. So I'm excited because people are going to see that and be like, damn man, like, hey, that's like a really dope sweatshirt. Like, where'd you get that? You know, oh, hey, like this is actually like, I have a podcast with my friend and like, this is our merch. Like, I feel like that is going to make people want to buy and want to, like, tune in and listen. I'm like, well, damn, you have your own merch. Like, this shit's popping.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And,
but it's cool.
You know,
it's a good feeling.
It's just amazing, the whole creative process behind things. And I'm going to quote Leonardo DiCaprio from Inception. It all starts with an idea, a simple idea. And that's all. And literally, that's all it takes. Like, it's so amazing how you think back to whenever you create something and you just realize like it's just out of thin air. Like, it's literally just like we want to do a thing, and then it becomes like a physical product on the internet that people can click. And it's just a crazy feeling that has really built on me, you know, with Trap Tries. Like, my food review channel is just like, I'm doing better on there than I ever have. Like, and it's just like, and it's,
I was just going to ask you,
it's
I'm
so
glad
fun.
that you said that. Have you noticed since like this whole quarantine thing, like your views and your subscriber count going up like significantly?
It has grown for sure. I feel like I kind of, I don't know. It's definitely like, what's kind of crazy is the other day I was actually stuck at 2700, which that's not really like a big deal because I'm going to make a bigger deal out of it when I hit 3K, but I hit 2700 and I was just thinking back to like, dude, like I was at 2600 not that long ago. That's a whole 100 more people that aren't like, I haven't had any friends or anything really subscribe. That's just like 100 strange people like that just hit the subscribe button, maybe because I reminded them in a video or whatever, like whatever drove them to subscribe. And over the past like day or two, I think right now 2708. So I'm like, okay, literally within like, I think it was at least 3 days ago, I was at 2,700 within this same week. And then I've grown 8 more already within like that. And I know that for the bigger YouTubers out there, if you're listening, you're not. But if you are, like, I know that's nothing for you. You could grow like 300 in 2 days. But like for me, that's a huge spike all of a sudden. It's just like, and that comes and goes. I'll be stuck at a number for a really long time. I'll be stuck at numbers where they keep minusing 1, plus 1, minus 1, plus 1. Like I'll just be stuck at this like back and forth number. But over the past few days, especially, has literally been this little jump, and I'm like, I don't know, like rather, you know, everything that I'm doing to improve my craft. You know, we talked about improving our craft in another podcast. Just, you know, because I'm all about anything I can do to make what I'm doing better. You know, having the microphone, having good lighting, you know, just, and tagging things well, and just figuring out, like, really just diving into, like, what's going to be the highest growth rate I could possibly have. Because, I mean, that's obviously a goal for me. Why wouldn't I make it that? Like, I'm not all about the numbers. I'm not all about the views. But I'm obviously going to try to try to make a little bit of revenue on YouTube. Like, I'm not even going to lie about that. Like, I want that to be a goal. Like, it is a goal for me. It is a goal for me to, if I could make a living off of doing it, heck yes, I would. Like, I would do, if I was given that choice tomorrow, I would say, yes, let's do this. Like, I would make sure it's secure, make sure it's a real thing, and then give up on my job and do that. Like, I mean, if I could do that literally right now, I would. But I have to work towards it. And I know that it's like, it's going to, you know, and I keep saying to myself, like, it's going to be a longer road than you think. It really is. Like, I can't sit and, like, you know, and dream about, like, hitting, you know, I don't know, being able to, like, make a living off of YouTube tomorrow. Like, but, you know, but there's nothing wrong with but there's just nothing wrong with dreaming big is what I'm trying to say about it. And you never know what kind of good is going to happen. Like, you could hit a spike, you know. I feel like Dustin's going to hit a spike whenever, you know, because he was talking about, you know, being stuck at a number before and everything, and it happens to him too. So
I was just going to talk about that too, because I literally, as Trav was talking, just checked my YouTube Studio, which is a great app. If you're a content creator on YouTube, download the YouTube Studio app. It is a lifesaver. You can see your analytics. You can go in, change videos. You can do
a more
everything.
Accurate and quicker subscriber count too.
Yeah, and it's
updates
a great
a lot faster.
way also to respond to comments. I respond to all my comments through the YouTube Studio app, and I just checked. In the last 28 days, since basically this whole thing kicked off, I have gained over 262 subscribers. Which I may not seem like a lot in 28 days, but like literally, like I'm gaining. It was saying like I'm gaining like almost 60 subs like a day at this point.
It's crazy.
And my views have went up to almost like 19.9 thousand, like almost 20,000 views increase, like a 20,000 view increase from my normal monthly views. It's insane. It's
It is.
absolutely wild.
Like, it's, I don't know. It's crazy how that works, you know, like we were talking about it, like thinking of something out of thin air, making it a reality, and, you know, and we don't, and I definitely don't want to ever come on here and give off this vibe like these guys are just gloating about stuff, and like that's just not our personality. It's not mine, like at all.
Not at
I
all.
don't like, you know, I don't want to brag about anything. But at the same time, I think it's good to kind of just, I don't know, kind of reward yourself verbally. Just kind of give yourself a pat on the back, like, dude, like, doing well, and just like keep doing that. Like, you know, if we keep at this and keep at the podcast, like something, it sounds really cliche and really dumb, but something beautiful is gonna like unravel basically, and that's, you know, and it already is. That's the point. Like, you know, just having our merch and seeing like, you know, we're already like the subscriber rate of the podcast on YouTube is actually a lot faster than I expected. To be honest. And so that kind of gets me excited of like, you know, people want to listen to this. They're literally taking time to use their thumb to hit subscribe. You know, it's just like, it's a
Exactly.
crazy thought whenever, like, what
And
it
we are
takes
close to
to
50
make people
subs.
get to that point. The what?
We are close to 50 subscribers.
Yeah, so get us to 50, guys. Can't wait.
I think we're only
100.
like 8 off.
It's
So
exciting. Like, it's, you know, I don't know, I think our consistency is showing it, and I don't know. It's just,
it is. And I mean, our plays too. I check Anchor every now and again too. I just like to keep up with, you know, like I said,
yeah,
Trav
just
and I
generally
aren't,
how
like
it's
big
doing.
numbers people, but it's just like, it's so cool to see. Like literally our last episode has 7 plays on Anchor. You know, that's just on Anchor. That's not even on anything else. Like we have 185 total plays.
Well, Anchor actually, I don't know if you know this, but it actually kind of is distributing, like it's showing the views for like all the listening platforms. So 7 views on
Is it
Anchor
all?
could mean like some of those are on Spotify, and I would actually guess that no one, I mean, some people probably use Anchor, but I think since Anchor is like a way to distribute podcasts in general, I don't see how people are like using Anchor to listen to the podcast that much. But I'm just saying, like, the more well known is like Apple Podcast and Spotify and all that, but it is actually all, and any of you that are wanting to start a podcast, like, just 100% I recommend Anchor. Within the first day that you make an Anchor account and upload your podcast, it can be put up on Spotify like the same day, depending on the time, I guess. But it literally
And
took,
Anchor does give you sponsorships as well.
yeah,
right away.
literally the same day that the first episode was dropped, we were able to drop it on Spotify, and I freaked out. Like, I was like, dude, this is like, I've never been able to like even dream about like basically me on Spotify for people to be able to like go anywhere and listen to, and like just, it's so crazy. And it feel like I said with, you know, we were talking about with the merch and how official it feels. It's such a good feeling when you like listen to your own podcast on something like an app that everyone can use. It's just like, it's insane. You know, and
Yeah, it
yeah.
is wild. And, you know, like you use Spotify. I use Apple Podcasts and Apple Music. I don't use Spotify very often. But it was cool. Like to go on there, I'm like, oh my God, like this literally, this can get recommended to somebody. Like I'm sure there's a ton of people that use Spotify. There's a ton of people that use Apple Podcasts. Like this can literally pop up on on a celebrity's phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's crazy to think how powerful the internet could really be. Like just imagine, like literally just imagine if there was like a celebrity out there that listened to Trav and I's podcast.
And then we become the celebrities. No, I'm kidding, but like they, you know, the celebrity would probably see us that way. Like, dude, these guys are legit and like whatever. But then we're just like, I don't know, 2 guys that have these like small channels on YouTube. Like, I don't know, it's just small compared anyway. But I don't know, man. It's it's a crazy time. Like, and you know, COVID-19, it might have something to do with extra views and all this stuff. I mean, I'm sure it does. Like, I've heard all kinds of stuff about bandwidth with internet and like Anthony was trying to play Fallout 76 with us last night, and like he got just too many people using the internet, and it's just like, dude, like it's a weird time we're living in where
Speaking of Fallout 76, did you get Wastelanders DLC today?
I did. I downloaded it, and I tried it even before I went to bed last night, and I immediately loved it. I was like, wow, this is kind of just mixing Fallout 4 into 76, you know, with the NPCs and stuff, and it's great.
So I would assume you guys were playing on Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have it on Xbox, and I have it on PC now, so I'm excited. Also, I mean, I think it's going to be too late now, because this only has 3 days that this is going on. If you have a PC, I will tweet this out, by the way. If you have a PC and you download the Uplay Ubisoft launcher, you can get Assassin's Creed 2 completely free right now and keep it forever.
Nice.
On the PC. So, it's pretty cool.
Good game. Good game.
Great game. Very, very good game. So, Trav.
Yes.
Did you watch Tiger King yet?
I did. Oh yeah, I forgot. I should have been like the opener.
You saw a tiger and a tiger saw a man.
Oh dear God. Did you watch the new episode?
Yes, I did last night.
Okay. So, number one, I literally forgot all about this, and like honestly forgot that I was gonna say and suggest to him, like, let's do like the first half of a podcast as like a Tiger King review. Like, but then but right now I'm just kind of like, I could just throw it in here and that be it. But I do kind of want to do a brief little, like, what I think about the documentary.
Let's talk about it.
Number one, what the heck do you mean by Team Joe? Number two, and you thought I would agree with you, but it's not in the way that you think. Like, I'm not going the direction that you think. I'm not trying to side with anybody in the documentary, because, okay, that's 1, 2. I don't know what number I'm on, 3 or whatever. Number 3, every single person in that show. Now, I don't know them personally. I'm just going off, a little bit of the documentary, and I understand that this brand new episode, they all kind of like are on webcam because of COVID-19, and I understand that some stuff wasn't shown, some stuff wasn't this. There's probably some stuff that I definitely didn't want to see, like they never showed any of the really they showed the romances between like the different guys and stuff, but they didn't go too heavy. It wasn't like a super rated R documentary or anything.
Right.
But, dude, every single person in that show, I don't know them, but they all seem like crooks. And I don't like Joe at all. I like
no,
him.
Trav. No. Listen, Joe, did Joe do fucked up shit? Yes. Was Joe crazy? Yes. Joe was an entertainer. That's what Joe did. And when people get serious about like being entertainers and like in their brand, people get crazy. Should he have killed the tigers? Absolutely not. That's fucked up. I agree. Joe is not a bad person. Fuck all those people that turned on him, for one, because I can promise you this. The second that man is released from jail, if he is released from prison, all those people would be kissing his ass. Guarantee you.
Well, the only reason that I say that, and the only reason that I say that I don't like any of them is just because of that fact where it's like, he just, I don't know, like, I have that sense with him where it's just this, like, he doesn't know what he wants, but, I mean, he wants fame and everything, but that's where he's stepping over the line with some things. Yes, he's doing bad things and everything, and that's my point of the whole thing, is all of them did something bad, like, except for the dude that, like, got his arm bit off. Like, I don't even know, they didn't really go more into, like, is that person a crook? I don't know, but, like, I don't, the other guy's named Jeff, right? Or is it? Yeah, Joe and Jeff.
Lowe.
Okay, yeah, because it was always confusing because it's both J's. But Jeff also seems like a person that is like, you should probably be in jail too, man. And you're way too freaking weird with your whole, like, why don't we get a nanny that looks good? And, like, the freaking girlfriend is like, she's hot and all that. It's just freaking weird to me. Like, I'm just like, I don't like any of them. They all seem really sleazy and crazy, and the big guy definitely. It's just like, I don't know, like...
You like that bitch Carol Baskin, don't you?
I really don't. Like, I have no idea. Like, the whole thing, but okay, let me say this about Carol Baskin and her husband. I know that I know it's a documentary and they can make things seem a certain way, and there's things that we don't see happen. But I'll say that Carol Baskin and her husband do seem like the most normal out of all of them. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, that's full-blown.
They are far from normal. Did you see their wedding pictures?
I understand I understand that part of it, but as for like them versus all of these like crazy like shooting animals and like just all this nonsense, like everyone's sleeping around with each other and all this stuff, like, I'm not saying Carol Baskin's innocent, and I'm not saying that she did not kill her ex-husband.
She definitely killed her ex-husband.
But I'm just saying that at least they're not all like, yeah, guns and like and craziness and just drugs and like, and I'm sure they've done drugs. I don't know, but
I mean, not that we know of.
But it's just, I'm just saying that out of all of them, they seem normal. More normal is what I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to be careful with my words, because I know people are probably going to listen to this.
Carol
and like,
incriminated herself in that documentary.
Yeah, and I understand. Like,
she did. She was like, she's like, oh, that tiger wasn't gonna kill him. You need to like, he had to have like something like sardine oil on him. You know, something the tigers actually want to eat. And it's like, bitch. What?
They just all seem like a bunch of crooks. On every single person in that documentary is
Joe. And, you know, here's the thing, and I think a lot of people actually miss this unless you follow Netflix, like on Facebook or on social medias. The guy that did the documentary, I actually talked to him, like video called Joe while Joe was in jail, obviously, and Joe even said, he was like, you know, like, yeah, the whole like documentary thing's cool. I wish I could honestly kind of experience it. And he's like, and they asked him, you know, like, what would you do if you got out of jail? And he was like, honestly, he was like, I would put everything with Carol behind me. He's like, I just want to be out. I want to be with my husband. And I just, you know, I just want my animals. And that was it. You know, I feel like if he got out, things would kind of change, you know? Like he said, he's like, I'm done with the whole thing.
Maybe.
You know, but I honestly, this whole thing, and they said in the documentary, it's far from over. You know, there's so much dirt on like Doc Antle and on Jeff Lowe and just on all these other people. Like when Joe went out, in a blaze of fucking glory. Joe was like, if I'm going down, I'm dragging all you fucking idiots with me. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think I like Joe. Do I agree with killing the tigers? No. They should have been put, if they were, like they said, like, you know, like he claimed, old and sick or injured, put them down in a humane way.
He just seems like an individual with a lot of mental problems. Like, that's like what I'm not 100% on that, but he just seems and comes off as this person that doesn't know what to do, like with the whole Travis thing, like, and everything. It's like,
I think that's when it got real bad.
Supposedly got a boyfriend within like 2 months. Like, there is no way that if you were grieving and all of that hard for a person that killed himself and everything, that you would just go and like, I don't know. It just feels really weird. And like, I know that maybe that's kind of one of those things where you get somebody else because you got a gap to fill and you're just like, I'm lonely and like all this stuff. It's all just so, the whole documentary had so many cringeworthy moments that like, but it made it good. It's great entertainment. I have said it a billion times. Like, if you watch drama from afar away, even if you don't have to be involved in the drama, it's still entertainment. Like, you know, drama, and you hear it around your workplace and everything. You hear drama going around and people talking crap about people behind their backs. There is a little bit of that, like, this is juicy, this is entertainment, but doesn't mean you have to be involved in it. And like, just watching it as it is, it's just this like ultimate feeling after it was over. Like, every single person in this does not seem innocent at all. And like, everyone is just off their rocker on the drugs and the like abuse and just like people that need Jesus basically. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It just like, I'm not, you know, and I don't know the whole story. I don't know these people, but like, it's just a bunch of people that like talk about each other behind their backs, even in the documentary, in this latest episode where they're all on webcam, like talking to whatever his name is, I forgot, but as the host. But literally, like, everyone had something to say about each other. And it's just like this hateful stabbing back thing. And it's just like,
I think
don't
the
know.
only person in the documentary that didn't really talk crap was the guy that had no legs, John Ranke.
Yeah, and I agree, by the way, Matthew McConaughey would be an amazing him for a movie. And I actually hope that they do a movie. Like, I think it'd be really interesting. I told Ashley, and we were joking about it while watching the documentary, like, this doesn't even seem real. This actually seems like someone dressed like Joe and, like, put, like, a mullet wig on and just, like, is just a character. Because if that really is how he acts and that's just how he is, like, he is a character, like, but it's beautiful in that way because, like I said, entertainment. He is a very funny person. We were laughing at things he would say, but at the end of the day and at the end of the documentary, just left with that feeling of, like, this is a great documentary. It has great entertainment, but man, is it, like, just kind of just shows a little bit of humanity, like, whenever things just, when people don't agree with each other and they just want to fight it with each other, and it's just like all of y'all shouldn't have been running this whole thing together at all. Like, it just shouldn't be a thing, but it just, I don't know. It's just that feeling of, like, I don't know who to believe, but I don't know the facts. So it's another documentary, just like the Aaron Hernandez one, where it's like, well, the facts are here you go, but it's up in the air because we weren't there, kind of thing.
They actually reopened the case about Carol's ex-husband because I guess they found shit. Like, I guess this documentary opened up whole new doors.
Yeah,
I think
it's going to be interesting in the next couple of years or so. I think some things are going to happen and unravel, and who knows, Joe gets out or not. I agree with whatever his name is. I don't know. Somebody said it in that last episode that, like, I don't want to see that man die in jail. Like, and I don't either. Like, I don't ever want to wish that upon anybody. I hope he gets out, and I hope that he actually changes his life. But he's gonna need some changing. Like, stay off the drugs, stay off the alcohol, and please,
he needs counseling.
And like, please know who you want to love and who you don't want to love. Like, you know, like, do you really love this quote unquote new husband you got? Like, you know, that's all his personal stuff, and I don't, you know, but just coming off from the documentary and getting, like, kind of like binoculars into people's lives is just like, man, it's just that feeling like y'all are all crazy. And it's just, I don't know. But that's just kind of my little, like, review on it, is like, I don't really care for any of them. Just a couple of the people. And you know what
didn't make any sense to me is that one person said that he was afraid of big cats. Joe was. If you watch the documentary, the man was, like, surrounded by him all the time. Like, he was in the fucking cages with them.
But do you think that he would be the type of person to, like, rather he really actually does like cats and that person was straight up lying, or he literally did do everything because he wanted to be famous and he wanted to be on camera and he actually doesn't like animals? You know?
But I mean, like, there was just footage of him, just, like, behind the scenes stuff, him moseying around in the cages with them. Like, if you're afraid of them, you're going to spend as least amount of time out there as possible. Like, it's like you can literally see it. Like, he, you know, whether he was, like, the main focal point on the camera or not, like, he was in the cages. I don't think he was as afraid of them as what they said. I honestly think, you know what, though? And really, it's all just hearsay. Because if all these people do have some kind of connection to him, and this is the way I look at it, because those people like, oh, I should have called the cops, you know, like, oh, I watched him do this or I helped him do this, then you should be in jail too. Like, you're a fucking accomplice to that. Like, this man should not have gone down by himself. And I feel like all these people that are turning against him are saying it just to cover their own ass because they know. You know?
Right.
Like, he took the fall and he took the blame because he's the bigger name. But all these people could have done something to prevent it if that was actually happening. It's all just hearsay, you know? But, like, in my opinion, I think that they're making Joe seem like a lot worse of a person than what he is. They're going to make him seem like the bad guy. But you know what? Like, if Joe is such a bad fucking guy and you hated it there, why didn't you leave? You could have quit. You could have left. You could have walked out. You could have went and got a different job. But obviously you stayed. So really, were things that fucking bad?
Right.
You know, like, sure, they didn't have, like, the best living conditions, but he let them live there completely free. Like, really? Is he that big of an asshole as everybody's claiming him to be? You know, and I feel like I said, these people are lying and saying shit, oh, Joe's an asshole, because they want to look good. But I guarantee you they did just as much fucked up shit as he did. Guarantee you.
Right. You know, and that's kind of what the documentary seems to give off, is like, it's I can kind of see into it. Like, the documentary is like, you know, trying to say, like, look at Joe, look at, like, how bad of a person he became. But if you read between the lines, it almost does feel like, oh, they're trying to frame him, kind of. Like, and I think the documentary does a beautiful job of explaining itself without, like, there's no, like, narrator or anything, like, saying stuff. Like, it lets you just kind of take your own, like, what you think is going on, just through, like, a few camera shots of things happening. Like, it's, you know, there's not too much you can really go off of other than just what you're seeing, and stuff we don't see. Like, it could be a lot worse. Joe could be a worse of a person. I don't want to believe that, because he seems so freaking likable. That's my problem with it, is just like, he's so likable, but it's so, but that can also be very, very deceiving. And I don't know, like, but I definitely have a bad feeling about everybody, you know, like, most of everybody else, like, freaking Jeff and all of them just seem so, like, I don't know, that whole thing where, like, I kind of do believe that person that said he never cleaned the cages when he first got here. He just kind of told people what to do, and, like, it just felt, something with him, it feels definitely off. And obviously, I'm one of those people, like, I don't like a person that just goes around, like, sleeping with everybody, like, and just, like, freaking cheating. And, like, I know that he probably had a bunch of girlfriends that he's cheating on every other girlfriend with, and the whole Vegas thing and everything. And, like, he's probably in with it with the nanny. Like, I don't like it at all.
Well, they have an open marriage. Like, his wife is okay with that.
Yeah, but that still doesn't justify it for me.
No, but I guess just we're very normal people when it comes to our like, relationships. So yeah, it does seem a little odd. But, you know, they also mentioned that documentary too in the last episode about how he cooked Thanksgiving meals for all those people that couldn't do it. You know, for hundreds of people. And the one person was like, you know, I feel like the documentary really kind of missed out on that, because he was up for hours upon hours cooking for people he didn't even know, to serve them dinner, like people at dinner that couldn't do it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I really don't think Joe was as bad as what people make it seem to be. Like, I feel like the people that really slammed him and slandered him are the people that are probably in just as much trouble as he is. But again, you know, to cover their ass and make them look like, oh, you know, we were treated poorly and all this and that. Fucking leave.
Exactly.
Leave. Like, you could have got out of there. Oh, the cats needed me. That's no fucking excuse. Go. If you are unhappy as a person, I'm sorry, but, like, leave.
Right.
But hey, I guess, you know, it is what it is. Also, Trav, I want to ask you, completely off the topic about Tiger King. I picked up some cherry vanilla Coke today at the grocery store, and it said it was new. How new is it?
Cherry vanilla Coke. I don't really. Let me just check real quick. 'Cause I definitely. I'm trying to even remember what this looks like, so I gotta, like, get a visual. Cherry vanilla Coke. Okay, yeah. I did review that. I was trying to remember. I was trying to make sure of that, really. Like, I was thinking, like, wait, did I review that? Because I also was thinking of that cream soda one that you had talked about.
Yeah.
But cherry vanilla is definitely. I reviewed that. Like, it's been. I'm pretty sure still. I think it was around the end of 2019, if not January. So I mean,
really, because this is the first time I ever seen it in the grocery store.
It's new,
like,
but
try it. Like, there were signs everywhere.
It's new, but not as new.
It's not
as,
like
not
new,
as not as new as your store's making it out to be. So it's not brand new.
Did you get to try the cream soda, Dr. Pepper?
No, I haven't even. All we've been able to really find of that is the diet, and like Ashley tried the diet, and she loves it, but I haven't been able to find the regular, so I don't know.
You might have to try the diet, man. We need a review from you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have to just see and make time. Just making time for things is kind of rough, but if I do find the regular, I'll definitely look into it. Do you have a recommendation?
Ooh, recommendation. Yeah, buy our fucking merch. Like, no,
Yeah, that was a cheap
seriously,
exit. You're like, you're literally, that's my exit. And that's a very inside joke with me and Dustin.
no, serious recommendation. But yeah, but please buy our merch because it is. I'm really excited about it. I feel really good about it. But it's
buy
just
our
like,
effing merch.
if my recommendation is if you kind of feel like you're at a standstill, whether it be like in life, and I know with everything going on right now, like, you know, people with anxiety and depression is probably like an all-time high, or with like content creation. So this is going to be more geared towards content creation. Find a way to kind of like upgrade what you do, you know, whether it be purchasing like new equipment, whether it be upgrading something in your gaming setup, or anything like that. Hell, if it's like getting on Photoshop and throwing together like a new banner and a new logo, whatever it may be, find something to kind of, because I noticed for me, like, you know, like with the whole logo for the podcast, sometimes it can kind of get you out of like a slump, you know, like it's not like start fresh with something, you know, do a little rebrand, just something like that. Maybe upgrade something, maybe going back to another recommendation, pick up like a new hobby, try something out, you know. Just kind of explore and discover something new and something cool. That's my recommendation.
Well, my recommendation is probably going to seem like a cheap exit, but it's actually a pretty darn good one. Follow Dustin and Trista on Twitch.
Yes.
Because while Dustin was talking, I was like, you know, what is going to be my recommendation? I always try to rack my brain of what it's going to be while he does his first every single time, because I always kind of forget that when about midway through the podcast, I always remember, take it, freaking recommendation, what's it going to be? And then I kind of have a rapid fire, and I think that actually works really well for me to be able to push out a recommendation, is I don't overthink it. I just try to go with what my gut says in the moment, and honestly, that's got to be it, because they're killing it over there. Dustin's, I've been tuning in, and like I really enjoy what he does over there, and whenever I can tune in, and Trista's doing her thing, builds and everything. We'll leave those Twitch links in the description below.
Yeah, but, Trav might even be interested to stream tonight. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe we're gonna play some Fallout and like get all into that. But I'll try to maybe on the side or something pull up my phone and be like,
you know what you
hey.
can do if you pull it up on your phone. Just let your phone sit there. It's called lurking. So basically, you're just giving a reviewer.
Yeah.
Everybody does it, man. I do it all the time to people to support them. Like if they're trying, because the affiliate requirements are kind of crazy. 50 followers, you have to stream for like 12 hours and on 7 different days. And then you have to have an average of 3 viewers a stream. So like, honestly, the hardest part is averaging the 3 viewers, believe it or not. So, you know, like if I know somebody's trying to get affiliate and they're close to that 3 viewer mark, I'll pop like their stream up on my iPad or on my phone and I'll just set it and walk away. Just kind of like there's a viewer there that's still registering for them. So you can come lurk and Trista stream.
Sounds good. Guys, we love you. So Spotify, I almost said subscribe, but yeah, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you wish, and go also if you want the audio only version of this episode. Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever else it's on. I can't even think right now because I'm kind of tired, but you know what? Oh, well. And you guys have been amazing. Thank you for listening and being part of this, and you really make our day and weeks better with your listening and like actually commenting and like being involved, and we can't wait for more. If you're discovering us now new, definitely give us a follow and like just do the thing, do the clicking, do the listening, do the interacting. We love interacting with you guys, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So you guys are amazing. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you.